Intermediate, this is Discovery Scout, some Pirates of the Caribbean film series here. So, my brother is trying to yell at him from the game. He's trying to regain shit for the shooting out of them. He's trying to jump. He's trying to get the jump on it. He's very mad. He's very frustrated. He's got a fucking mad. My dad didn't. I know it. Dad's on the upstairs in his room. Computer in the computer lab in his lab. Really? Oh my god. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's got it up, pissing himself off. Well, I have to check. I have to get my charger to the upstairs in my room. There's my charger. It's almost 11%. It's almost dead. Well, today this is about the infinity time. You know, this is the end of June. From this Puyallup school from this 2016. This is from January 3rd, 2013. I'm gonna have to sit down there. I'm just gonna go out for the run at about for a couple of minutes, 1.5 an hour. Or maybe that I can stand recording my video. I didn't notice. I didn't reload it. I didn't re-upload it to about the Jungle Book 2016. All links about almost about for 20 minutes. My brother, nomadic brother just figured that out. It's just his playing a game. He tries to level up with this game. So I close the door just to walk it downstairs, just to slowly motion. As my dad just is being quiet, I just gonna have to talk and motion it slowly. For I have a really that actually is gonna be real important for you guys. You know, I'm gonna have to watch this at about for Friday night, for Friday for 10 for the night. So the choice for Saturday morning is burying the ex. And Yelton just passed away from last 1 week. He got the car smelled it. Really bad. You know, he's got is deceased. His death, even though it can be only about from the movie, is Anton Yelton just stars in the Imperial Mentions for Star Trek Beyond third movie coming out June 22nd. And the Legend of Tarzan coming up for tomorrow for afternoon. It's gonna have to go outside. Just keep a cool one in the world. So I remember that for what happens. Is in my mom's friends and Nanimo, Christy, and Kim, and Crystal, and Chris, Justin, and Josh and Peter to just stand around for the wood fence and the grass. And my brother too. It's just about last 2 years. You know what happened for my friend of the neighbor John's just walking outside just as faster, has to disrespect them. He throws him. He remembered that he throws him in the outside for in one of the John's backyard. Let's see the look what's about happen. They remembered that for the fight, for the argument in front of my porch, in front of my backyard, in front of the John's backyard. They throwing on the apples and plums on his house and property, and trespassing. This is the liability. He calls the Puyallup Police Department and he calls to the cops for 911. Uh, he came over, who gave him permission to come up there, you know. And still after the last 2 years, and the Charles and Brittany just leave, the Uncle Corey too. They what happens to the admissible and the whole life. Their life is over. Their life is over. All over. They're apologizing. So I tried to stop them, and I tried to stop them for no reasons. I ran out. I just followed him for the Chris and Justin, and Crystal too. I just followed him for the neighbors for one reason. I walked towards my cousins, and remember what happens there. I just running around for just all around for the backyard. So I just walk all the way around to the sidewalks around the neighborhood. The neighbor, the kid, Justin called the kids. Justin just tell the kids, so I needed the summer football thing, so get some football thing, that John's throwing at a two football thing on front of the backyard, on front of the back in the backyard, and he told him in some he told him about for very respectful, he replied. Crystal tells him apologizing from by John. I walk in and apologize to say, I just want to be nice with you, be nice to each other. Stay outside from the porch. Just be careful one night. The porch is there, so the wood right there. Just looks to be the old ones. It looks to be almost older, but about for almost 19 more years. But anyway. So John called the police. He'll be coming up for about 15 minutes and then at least. So every 15 minutes, not every 15 minutes, just one for the 15 minutes, one for the 15 minutes for the July 17, 2014, and I noticed it have a very interchangeable. And my mom and my mom just called her husband, and my dad and his stereo, just talking to John's, just came over his door. My mom says they okay. They're coming over her friend's house. He told my mom to say, "Don't coming up in front of my house," and he should not be heard to be okay. He will be able to get the trouble. That's not a good thing and not a good asset choice. As she thinks for thanks to me, my mom just talked to me, I'm very sorry for them for his John. I'm sorry for her for the John. Remember that the police that came out there for front of the house of the sidewalk, crossing the street. Remember John just walking towards there to the sidewalk, talks to police officer, and my dad just told him that those guys that say don't drink any of the beers or bottles, to say okay, so they're not supposed to be drinking the driving, so he's called the police officer. He's gonna tell you guys gonna have to leave at about for the 25 minutes. It's not a good thinking about the any times. John talks to officer. He knows that tell us anything. Just remember that for the last 2 years to the summer. For any time, wants to tell him not to come over, but he's saying thank you for the process to confirm for considerations. He walks back to his house, and I think mom and her friends, Chris, Justin, Josh, Peter, are just fighting over it, just playing around about for 20 minutes. I just noticed remember that for the barbecue stuffs. That's me. Just as because I have a really unfortunately for you guys, if you take care of him, so you have to take care of for John. They are my friend. He's my friend. He's my friend and a neighbor. Her friend and his wife, neighbor's wife, and he could be about the same reason, or saying about his trespassing. Their liability, he looks at the same thing about DOI. For DOI means charges. The DOI means charges. That means you gotta be arrested. She would tell you guys here about for you, except for the time, except for to tell you guys, you know, where your kind of other means to. As barely to have the leaving for Shanemo, for Nanimo, for Kingimo, Crystal, Justin, Josh and Peter, and Charles his sister, leaving for his girlfriend Brittany, his family, his welcoming to their family, Keegan, and some of her his born there. She's born the once a while, once it again for the 2 years. For one, as is for now, as is about very strange thing. He noticing sort about very emotions to show you guys. I have a very uploaded on the Jungle Book on the Facebook. So my YouTube's not gonna upload it, and I just watch it from the lady and the speech and the announcements, reviews the speech, as like it says, as like you guys says, as I believe you. I don't really if you guys is so much very intimidating. It's just notice as I do homework time, and my sister just didn't do anything for the argument for John, and my brother didn't do anything too for John too, and my dad just talking to the John just about last 2 years. He told me, hey, they told me to not come over this house, come over from the house once to the problem, and they did most to remember that. They're not supposed to be coming over this house without a permission for the last 2 years, and John didn't do anything for the last year. And mom's friends and Chris Justice's cousins and friends, they all the time after my sister graduation for last year. Last 2 years for me, and same as under my friend Andre for her family. For whole while his life, her lifetime was quite as noticed as it regains, I sort of call it for familiar as noticed this time. Anyway, John would say I'm sorry about for what happens there for the last almost 2 years. For the September 2014, I just walking with Yoshi. He was older than for the 14. I say so. I said to him, say it's okay. So we don't need to threaten me. Just want to be friendly, and just be wise, and just walking. Just have to do notice. Say sorry about my mom's friends. So what happens there? Remember that of my brother just holding there for the bowl over the apple stuff for the plums. It is a screen. He tried to throw it through the grassing for the front of the top of the wood fence. I just said I believe you if you guys is so much intimidating, but if they gets trouble, and they will go home with about for the next year, all the time for the last year. Okay, maybe don't forget to subscribe for more content. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, go to Revines to anytime, in the Juggy stores and the gaming channel, the Pi Hori Midis. If we wanted to change to divide it, and Don't forget. See you soon.